Hey guys, Keaton here with TechSmart, and today we're going to be talking about the current state of iOS 8 in the iPhone 6 and everything we know thus far. So in previous years, Apple has released their latest generation of iOS at the WWDC conference in the Moscone Center, typically in San Francisco, California. So WWD stands for the Worldwide Developers Conference, and there's a lot of cool stuff going on there. All the developers that really kind of develop in the Apple App Store or just in the Apple platform, and other developers in the market kind of go there and just check out to see what Apple is doing in 2014 and what we can expect with some other hardware that'll be released later in the year. But mainly it's just about iOS 8, OS 10, the next generation of it, and maybe a few other hardware pieces, as we did see the Mac Pro last year. So this video here is to serve of the current state of iOS 8 and the iPhone 6, and to just kind of give us a better perspective of what we will be seeing on June 2nd of 2014 when Apple goes ahead and debuts their brand new iOS platform. So starting off with the iPhone 6, we actually have our hands on one of the dummy units that can give us a good representation of what we will be seeing later in the fall when typically the iPhones are released. So this dummy unit rocks a screen of about 4.7 inches, so this is a big plus because we've all been wanting a bigger screen, and we did get a 4-inch display on the iPhone 5 and 5S, but Android devices feature 5 to 5.9 inch displays, including the LG G Pro 2, and I do think it's time for a bigger display because most consumers want more screen real estate to kind of go and interact with their applications and media on their device. Also, some reports are saying that Apple will be releasing a 5.5 inch iPhone 6, and this really hasn't been backed by much evidence as we had seen with the 4.7 inch rumor. So the potential screen resolution that we will be seeing on this iPhone 6 with a 4-inch display, let's hope this is the display size because I'm sick and tired of 4 inches, but the resolution will be 1704 by 960, so definitely higher than what we currently see on the Apple iPhone 5S and of course the Apple iPhone 5. So higher resolution means a lot more pixels are being crammed in there and a lot more detail can be revealed on the screen, so that's a big plus for everyone. So also taking a look at our dummy unit here, because this will give us the best representation to what we will be seeing or hopefully seeing in the fall. It features kind of a curved body that is very reminiscent to the Apple iPod Touch 5th generation. So of course the iPod Touch is curved and it is a lot thinner than what we would see with the iPhone 5S. This is kind of a design change because Apple has typically had a rectangular phone, excluding the iPhone 2G, the 3G, and the 3GS, and they've kind of made it rectangular with some curved edges, but this is really going to kind of go ahead and just make it super thin and allow people to kind of hold it better and just give a new thin profile that I think is much needed for the entire iPhone line. So this is what we know about the iPhone 6 at the moment, and Apple has bought so much sapphire that it almost leads us to believe that the iPhone 6's outer display will be made out of sapphire, which really hasn't been done before, and sapphire is a lot stronger than the current glass found on pretty much every other iPhone out there, which means it'll be a lot more sturdy and a lot less prone to scratches, and that's something I do see on my current iPhone 5S. And of course I have my little wish list of things that I really want. I think we'll see NFC on here, and Apple's released iBeacons, which is Apple's kind of way of NFC along with AirDrop, and I think it almost hints us to believe that NFC will be coming. And as Jonathan over at TLD pointed out, NFC, once it takes off and once Apple adopts it, I see the market for NFC just booming and really becoming more than what it currently is, because a lot of stores don't really take NFC, but as soon as Apple adopts it and promotes it, as most people do have an iPhone, at least the people I talk to, I see NFC being taken to a new milestone, and I can't wait for that. And also I'd like to see LED notifications kind of around the Touch ID home button, and I think that's a cool way to go ahead and present LED notifications. Oppo's Find 7a does this with their blue LED right at the bottom of the phone. I think it's brilliant, and I think Apple could really do something cool with it around the Touch ID sensor. Also, I'd like Touch ID to be heightened because oftentimes when I put my finger on the Touch ID home button, it doesn't work, and I just sit there with my thumb on the button waiting for it to unlock my iPhone, and then I just get so frustrated that I end up just typing in my passcode. So if Apple could really master Touch ID like it did take them a few years to master Siri, I think it could be something really great on the iPhone 6. And then finally, I'm hoping for a better camera. The reports are saying another 8 megapixel camera with an f2.2 aperture, but hopefully they see some other great things in the camera and can maybe bump up the megapixel count, or just do some cool internal things to just make the camera a lot better than what we have seen with the 4S, the 5, and the 5S all rocking an 8 megapixel camera. And finally, I hope we have a bigger battery, because let's face it, technology is always evolving, but it doesn't seem that batteries are really evolving with technology. So maybe there's some cool solar charging capabilities that Apple might come out with. Of course, I'm just dreaming here, but I think a bigger battery would be much appreciated by all customers of the iPhone 6. Now, switching topics here, let's go and dive into iOS 8. So as we did see with iOS 6 and iOS 5, they were very similar, at least just what I saw, and iOS 6 was kind of the more polished version of iOS 5, and it appears that iOS 8 is going to do the same thing that we did see with iOS 5 and 6 to iOS 7, and just tweak some things, do some different colors, change some icons around, and just make it a more polished version of iOS 7. So while it doesn't appear that the OS is going to feature too many major changes, we did see one thing of some leaked screenshots potentially confirming of a new application that is of course stock called HealthBook. So obviously most manufacturers are diving into the health game. With Samsung, we got S Health and the fingerprint scanner, and oodles of accessories and smartwatches just made for Samsung phones. And then we have the HTC M8 really tying in nicely with the Fitbit Flex and just the realm of Fitbit accessories. And then we're left with Apple. Apple really hasn't done much. Of course, there's some third-party applications out there, but Apple really hasn't taken a stand. And of course, that might be something we'd see in the iWatch whenever it's coming out. But HealthBook really shows us what Apple is trying to do and allow us to store our health records and do some other cool stuff in there. So some of the things within HealthBook includes blood pressure, hydration, and just a lot more specifics than we really haven't seen with Samsung's S Health or any other manufacturer out there. But what Apple is trying to do here is take a more sophisticated stance on the current health integrations found on the S5 or any of the Samsung devices out there, and just revolutionize it and include more specifics that currently lack on other smartphones out there. And of course, 2014 is the year of wearables, but it's also the year of getting fit, and this is definitely reflected not only on smartphones but in operating systems themselves. So some other things found in the screenshots include Preview and Text Edit, two very common applications found on OS X or OS X, if you want to call it that. It's like GIF and GIF. No one's ever really going to know what it is, so I'm just going to say both. And that's kind of a little bit weird to me, because I personally would just use Notes or Evernote or just another type of note-taking application over Text Edit. And if I want to look at a picture, it can be done just by saving it and opening up in Photos. So hopefully that was just someone making some stuff up and just putting it on an iPhone, because I personally don't see myself using Preview or Text Edit, but you might be that person and want that on your iOS 8 device. And also we're going to see the removal of the iOS Game Center application and a few other applications out there that I put in my don't use folder on my iPhone 5S, and that folder is very self-explanatory. It's the things that I don't use, wish Apple would allow me to delete, and I don't personally jailbreak, as I have stated before, and I can't really get rid of those. So Apple, if you're listening, please just allow us to remove the applications which are really non-essential, and if you're going to integrate them into anything, make them internal and make them accessible through other applications, not through mandatory applications that we cannot get rid of if we don't use. And also, we might be seeing split screen integration where you can run two applications at one time. Sam Beckett did a concept video showing this off and being able to use two applications at one time, and I personally think it's genius. I could be watching a YouTube video and have my Twitter client Tweetbot open in the lower tier, and just being able to tweet about a video that I really am enjoying, or just watch a movie and tweet about it as I go. I think it's brilliant, and I think Apple should be incorporating that in a nice, elegant fashion to have it being more elegant than what you would find on a Samsung device, for example, running TouchWiz. I personally don't think the multitasking on there is brilliant, seamless, and elegant, but just kind of bulky, blocky, and something that I don't even use. And finally, one of the biggest rumors that we probably will be seeing with the iPhone 6 and within iOS 8 is HD audio. So depending on if the Beats and Apple merger does go through or acquisition, that could mean we will be having better speakers on the iPhone 6, and we will be having better functionality within iOS 8. And also we'll be seeing a Shazam-like function within iOS 8. So I'm not using the word Shazam as a descriptor word, but Shazam, the application that can identify music or a specific type of audio and give you the title and just give you more information on it. Incorporating that into Siri is brilliant, and it would allow Apple to go ahead and sell their iTunes songs a lot more. That's a service they're currently pushing on iTunes Radio a hell of a ton. So this is just a brilliant way to go and identify tracks, because let's face it, a lot of these lyricists don't ever really repeat words that would kind of give away the song title, so incorporating this into iOS 8 is most definitely brilliant. Thank you guys so much for watching this video with the current state of iOS 8 and of the iPhone 6 and everything we kind of know up to this far. If you guys enjoyed this video, go ahead and drop me a thumbs up down below, as it really helps out the channel and lets me know you guys want more videos like this covering iOS 8 and everything in the realm of Apple. Go ahead and drop me a comment down below letting me know if you guys are going to be downloading iOS 8 when the betas do become available, and if you're just excited for iOS 8 and the iPhone 6. I know I am, and you can definitely tell by my excitement, because this is just the next generation of software and hardware from Apple, and I know they got a lot of cool stuff in store that will be revolutionizing the market, as I feel they've kind of been holding back in the previous years. And finally, go ahead and subscribe to the channel to be notified when a brand new video is released. And guys, WWDC is right around the corner. It's going to be on June 2nd, and we'll be covering it, so go ahead and subscribe down below to be notified when a brand new video is released. Thank you guys once again, and I look forward to seeing you in my next video. That was good. That was good.